Hey there everybody, Brandon from the sAs, the Snack Food Appreciation Society, on the site of Duke Kabob House on Little River Turnpike in Alexandria, Virginia. The Kabob House has come under fire recently as there are new owners of the building and they plan not to renew the lease of Duke Kabob House, which has been here since 1993. What will happen? We'll find out, but first, it's Takeout tonight. That's right, Foxes and Coxes. This is Brandon from the sAs, the Snack Food Appreciation Society, with a special edition of Takeout Tonight. Like I alluded to in the introduction, basically my favorite kebab house in all of the DC area is being threatened to go out of business. Basically, they are forced to close against their will. The Duke Kabob House and Market, or Duke Kabob as it's affectionately known, has been in our area since 1993. And I've been eating there since 1995, so I've been there almost as long as they have. I remember I used to go pick up lunch from my boss back in 95 when I first started working for the company. I still work for it to this very day, and I used to be addicted to Duke Kabob House's bread. This is really before I started eating any kind of international foods, and my palate had not really developed that much at all, so I didn't really order any of their regular foods for maybe about a year until I did have what I'm about to show you right now, and it changed my mind completely on international foods, particularly Persian cuisine. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Duke Kabob Combo number 7. Actually, for some reason in the menu, it's called number 7, but Duke Combo number 2. Kind of confusing. What you have there is shinjay, which is cubes of steak. If I said that wrong, I'm terribly sorry. And some nice big seasoned chunks of chicken on top of a huge bed of basmati rice with, I'll tell you, when they make it, there's a big old hunk of butter on there with saffron. You got some grilled tomatoes here. And, of course, their homemade bread made in their clay oven right on premises. This is what sold me on the joint to begin with. Okay, of course, this restaurant, like I said, opened in 1993 by a man whose name I don't remember, I'm sorry, but he used to actually be a chef, or a cook rather, at the Arby's across the street from where Duke Kabob now sits, and the Arby's is still there, but he's now been here for 20 years in the same location. Basically, someone bought the building, decided they wanted to put somebody else in that spot. It's been actually featured on local Channel 7, the ABC affiliate here in Washington, D.C. The owners of Duke Kabob feel they were treated unfairly as they weren't given the opportunity to negotiate or to match the offer of whoever got awarded the new lease. So it sounds like pretty shoddy business practices on their end, on the new owner's end, but who knows? Maybe they'll work it out. They've got until September 30th, and that's when Duke Kabob, unfortunately, has to move out. Okay, so along with the Duke Kabob number 7, you get a couple of accoutrements, a lot of parsley here, a nice block of cheese, and I don't know what kind of cheese that is. You'll have to forgive me. And then a raw onion to go with it. You know I'm not all about the onion, so I don't really care about that. You also get this really good hot sauce, which I'm not sure what it consists of, but it's very tasty. It's got kind of a citrusy flavor almost to it as well. Go ahead and open that up and show it to you. Not sure what's in there. Probably a lot of herbs and so forth. Very, very tasty sauce. And also this stuff, which I believe is called sumaki. It's a dried powder. I believe it's dried crushed beets, if I'm not mistaken. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. And it's very good on meat, particularly beef. I used to buy this stuff by the jar when they first opened their market section, which they did a few years ago at Duke Kabob, so you can buy various Persian and other types of wares and merchandise. Interestingly enough, when I was there today, I noticed that they sell copies of Dianetics. That's kind of interesting. Anyway, alright, so let me talk about the quality of the food. Basically, this costs $15, $14.99. Now, this is a lot of food here, and it probably cost about $9 back when I very first started getting it many, many years ago. But as inflation has occurred, of course, the price of food has gone up. Anybody who buys food for themselves at home knows that. So, of course, the price has gone up, across the nation, pretty much everywhere. But I think for $14 for this amount of food is still a pretty good bargain, considering that we are in one of the largest metropolitan areas in the United States, or at least one of the most important ones, that is. Alright, so let me go ahead, stop babbling so much, open up my gunpowder, as the owner of Duke Kabob calls it. He always calls it that and makes me laugh. Go ahead and sprinkle some of that along my beef. A little bit on the rice there. And heck, I'll put a little on the chicken as well. Some kind of bug has now hit me in the face. I don't know what that was. I don't know if you guys saw it or not. I guess not, since the camera's facing the other way. Also tear open this little packet so I can get a hold of that cheese, because the cheese is actually really darn good. Alright guys, take a look at the menu, I guess. Oops, I didn't want both menus there. While I take a bite. Now a big chunk of chicken, nicely grilled, cooked to order. Of course, a big scoop of rice. And a bite of the great bread. I'm going to dip the bread in a little bit of the hot sauce there. That may be a bit unconventional, but what the heck, maybe that'll give me a better idea what's actually in the hot sauce. And a little hunk of cheese. Alright, so that is phenomenal. Juicy, beefy steak. Chicken on point with beautiful spices. I mean, they have a spicy chicken there. You don't need to get that because this has got a nice amount of spice as well, believe me. I love their rice. I could eat gallons of their rice at a time. I'm a rice addict, and that basmati rice with the saffron on it really, really kicks it up for me. I love that a lot. The cheese is a nice kind of dry cheese with a little bit of a funk to it. I like that a lot too. I'm trying to think, maybe it kind of reminds me of a solid cottage cheese. Maybe it's feta. I don't know what it really is. I'm not real good with defining cheeses. The bread is, of course, my favorite. Love it, love it, love it. I'm giving everything a thumbs up. And of course, I knew I would because I've had this meal many, many times before. But I figured I would just share it with you guys just in case I never get the chance to share it again. You know, please go on change.org to sign the petition to help keep Duke Kabob open. Also, visit their Facebook page. I'll go ahead and post links to all of that down in the description below. Also, make sure you join the sAs on Facebook, the Snack Food Appreciation Society, because we have a grand old time, a lot of really cool people in the group, and we watch videos about food, talk about food, think about food, pretty much everything you can do about food. Again, about Duke Kabob House, can't say enough. When I call to order the food tonight, they know exactly who I am. I tell them who I am. They go, we know. Not many places in town are still like that, particularly for someone like me. I'm not that memorable, you know, kind of a Joe Schmo that blends in with the crowd, or at least so I think. But everybody there knows me. They know exactly what I want. They know I want a number 7, and they know exactly how I like it. So please help us try to save Duke Kabob and keep it in business here in the Alexandria area. Also, stay tuned on Sunday for the second half of the Hostess Hoedown, where you'll see the actual Hostess Twinkies compete against the Mrs. Freshly and Tasty Cake Dreamies, the Little Debbie Cloud Cakes, and an Ace in the Hole. That will be on Sunday, and I'll be back on Tuesday with another edition of On the Road. This has been Brandon from the sAs, the Snack Food Appreciation Society, on Friday, August 23rd, 2013, with another edition of Takeout Tonight. In the meantime, in between time, we'll see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.